I said, session one is just, creating rapport, getting to know each other, understanding what brings you here. The coach will try and establish what brings you here, and then getting a sense of where you are at in your life, that wheel of life, as I spoke about in the previous video. Second session is usually the deep dive, where we delve deeper into things, provided it didn't happen in the first session. Once again, guys, I'll keep doing this pivoting thing that I'm doing because the map is not the territory, meaning that just because something is mapped out this way, it doesn't mean it's going to work out that way. Just because you know that from Joburg to Pretoria it's 60K, it doesn't mean that you will get there in 60K. There might be traffic along the way. There might be a roadblock. There might be a pothole. There might be a way for you to detour. You might get into an accident. There's so many things that can happen that will make you not get there on time. In fact, maybe not, let me not use kilometers, let me use time rather. If it takes you about 45 minutes from Joburg to Pretoria, you may get there after 2 hours. You may get there exactly at 45 minutes, which is very rare. You may get there an hour. It's very rare in coaching because there's always something that a client was not even seeing. There's always this blind spot that comes up, and they usually start showing up around session 3, session 4, sometimes from session 2. But if we were to just follow the template as it is, and this is what trips up a lot of people who go for coaching courses in institutions. Obviously, I'm not going to mention institutions. And then they struggle with coaching people. I don't know how many people who are coaches in terms of qualifications from an institution, sometimes even reputable institutions, and they're accredited and they have this certificate and this accreditation and this certified by this one and this one, and they just don't know how to help people because they're busy following a script. A script helps, a structure helps, so that when things fall off, you know that you're falling off onto a structure. I use a structure. I cannot work without a structure. But the thing is, the structure actually gives you the flexibility to delve into deeper things, to go into other areas for the sake of helping a client. Like I said earlier, I do give personal examples or examples of other clients or example of fictional characters or example of something that's happening in social media or a celebrity life to try and help a client. So you can get off script. You have a script, you have a structure so that you can get off it, so that if things go haywire, you can come back again to the structure. But when you don't have a structure at all, you will go helter-skelter. But when you follow the structure only, then you lose the client because you want to follow. This is session 3. We should be talking about clarifying your vision. It doesn't always work like that. And I know that this video is dual now. It's talking to coaches and it's also talking to people who want to become coaches. So let's continue on this thread, difficult as it is, right? So I'm looking at my notes here. So session 4, usually, so session 2 is deep dive, deep stuff, crying. Session 3, even more so. Sometimes people missing session 3, sometimes feeling like it's not working, sometimes feeling like it's too hard. Let's just say for someone who's not dropped out. Session 4 then becomes about, okay, now you see the mess. You see the areas you need to work on. You see your weaknesses. You see your blind spots. You see your belief systems that are holding you back. You see the things that are making you not become the thing that you say you want to be. You see the cognitive dissonance even clearer now. And then by session 4 and session 5, we now start to build a path towards you becoming this person. So you want to become this version. Now by session 5, we know the gap. We know now that the gap is this big, or the gap is this big, or it's a gap, but also it's a bit skew, it's complex. We now know. And then from session 5, session 6, session 7, it is the hard work of seeing your own patterns, observing yourself. There's a lot of homework that a coach should be giving you around these sessions, around those 5, 6, 7. If you have an 8-session setup or a 10-session setup, session 5, 6, 7 are very, very intense. It's when you are developing new ways of showing up. It's when you pick up your triggers. You're no longer dead. You're no longer numb to things. Now you can feel that a trigger is coming. Now you know if something is your issue or it's not your issue. Now you know you're developing ways of communicating. You're developing a new language of being in the world. even people in your life are starting to see some form of difference. Your boss might be noticing, your colleagues might be noticing, your husband, your girlfriend might be noticing, correct, coaching AI because I see you. So you now start having, especially towards like session 7, session 8, you now have and this happens a lot in my coaching, where a client would say, the old me would, the old me would have responded this way, if Sbanibani had done this, or the old me would have posted this, or now you can see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And guys, I'm just talking here sessions based on just the template, right? So you might get there to, speaking of the old me and the new me, by maybe session 12 or session 13, which brings me to how I work. I don't sell sessions anymore. I don't sell sessions. They don't work for me. They don't work for my clients. What I rather do is I work with you. We have a minimum of 3 months where we work together. And obviously, I'm not going to tell you we map out what, because then you'd have to come to me and then we can plan it. But minimum 3 months. 3 months means I will give you official sessions. There'll be sessions that we will officially have, which are usually 90 minutes, 80 to 90 minutes. I hardly ever do an hour. It's just too short for me. There'll be tons of homework. There'll be tons of support. So I don't make you wait for a session for something to happen. If, there's a homework breakthrough, if something came up, if you got triggered and you really want to process quickly, you can drop me a WhatsApp, a voice note, or text me. Then we can maybe have a 10-minute quick call, or I can support you however I support you. So you know that you have access to me because you have invested time and you've committed money, and we are working together for 3 months. You are not going to dodge. You're not going to run away. You have a proper program. You know when we have official session. An official session is when we have the talk therapy. And then you will do your homework. You will do the journaling. You will do the meditations I give you. You will do the homework that I want you to do in real life. Maybe say you struggle with speaking up. Some of the homework will be in the next meeting. I need you to be the first one to raise your hand. And so, and you have to come back and say, you've done it. It becomes a working relationships. The best time frame for me is 6 months. And then obviously, if you really want to feel yourself and you are ready for the deep work, and you are also a coach yourself, or you are senior somewhere, or you really want to work on yourself and change yourself into a different version, then you can spend a year with me. And I have all of that. If you're interested in all of that, just drop me an email. I will send you the PDF of how I work. So hopefully in 2026, you will also start with me. Just drop an email. The email is somewhere in the video, and then I can take you through how I work. And so those are the things then that you need to look out for, or that a coach will take you through. Especially if you do long term, like usually if you're doing 10 sessions, by the 8th session, you sort of know you've sort of reached your goals, or you are reaching your goals, or you are finding out new things about you that you didn't even think will come out at the beginning of the session. You discover that the problem that you brought, the thing that you thought is what you want to solve, is not even an issue at all. Something else came up. I cannot tell you how many times this happens, where a client comes in and says, actually, I want to work on my imposter syndrome. I don't feel like, and I use imposter syndrome a lot because that seems to be the thing that a lot of people talk about. Or if you say I'm struggling with boundaries, or I'm stuck, or whatever, at the end of our coaching together, when we were doing sessions, by the time you are in session 8, you realize that, no, it's not a boundary problem at all. It is more a self-sabotage, or it is more a people-pleasing, or it is more this. There's always a root underneath. So by session 8, session 9, session 10, you would have discovered what the real issue is, or have solved so many things, particularly if you have a good coach in your hands. So I hope this was helpful, because I really do feel like it was just, a lot. But I hope you also appreciate that I cannot honestly tell you what happens in a life in a coaching session. I just know that every coach uses a particular template. There are many, many models of coaching. A lot of it is talk. A lot of coaches will coach you in the session and help you in the session. I don't know how to do that. The session for me generally is for you. Yes, I probe. I ask a lot of questions. I teach a lot as well in my coaching sessions. I tell stories a lot, and not the stories about to, like, I will give you a metaphoric story. I will give you a mythology story. I will give you a folklore story. I will paint a picture for you to help you see your problem clearly. I will share something similar if you know it will help. But the real work is after the session. After the session, I will send you something that I call coaching notes, which is usually a voice note for some things to think about. You know, I'm giving you feedback of the session and some things I want you to look at. You'll get a PDF with journal prompts. You'll get a meditation if it's necessary. You'll get some affirmations if you need them. There are a lot of people who need to change the way they speak to themselves, and I find that affirmation helps. And I'll make you go watch a movie. I'll make you read a book, especially if you're walking the journey with me for a long time, 6 months to a year. There will be a book or two that I want you to read because I want it to even deepen your journey, even help you further. There'll be some stuff I will make you do, like I made an example of if, say, you struggle to speak up or you feel overlooked in an office or you feel like you're a doormat, some of the homework is to just say no. Then just say no. Everybody who asks you anything this week, just say no, even if you are able to say yes, unless obviously it's a matter of life and death. And it's just so incredible how difficult people find it. And that way I'm trying to show you your pattern, and I'm trying to make you step away and see yourself being that pattern. And then we rewire you using affirmations, excuse me, or using other ways of being. It's a fascinating world. I wish you a great coach in your life. I wish that you pick and you choose to walk a coaching journey in 2026 because it's going to be a very different world from 2026. I am tempted to do a completely different video talking about what to expect in the new year, but I will think about it. I will think about it because then it's dabbling into some other things that are not, you know, directly related to what I do. But I think people need to be prepared for this, for what's coming from next year, 2027. Just know that by 2030, we'll be living in a completely different world. The same way that by 2020, we were in a completely different world to 2010. And yeah, so get a coach, get serious about your healing journey. Get serious about who you truly want to become. Get serious about the gifts that you are here to bring into the world, and get help. Get help. We can't do it alone. I have a coach. I have coaches because I need them. Okay, so that's one of the things that we need to learn to invest in. That's investing in yourself. Investment is not about unit trusts only. It's not about investing money only. Investing is also investing in your overall well-being so that you are sound of mind, you are pure of heart, you are clear, and you have a peace in your heart. You know, you sleep well at night. And coaches and therapists and counselors are great at such things. Until the next video, I will see you soon. This is my story. I cannot wait to hear yours.